afternoon and welcome to Discovering the Spiritual Disciplines. Today we'll be hearing from Brenda Thompson, our Minister of Youth, about what is Lectio Divina.
Hello, my name is Brenda Thompson and I'm Minister of Youth at First Baptist Church. Today I would like to share with you a spiritual discipline that has really helped me to get closer to God. It is called Lectio Divina, which means holy reading. It is a way of praying through the scriptures, and really it's a way of listening to God. So basically, it's a way of using scriptures, images, and insights as a way of entering into a conversation with God. Most scholars suggest that there are 4 steps to follow in Lectio Divina. The first is to read. Read several times through the scripture and be attentive to detail. Note verses or phrases that stand out to you and work to understand the meaning and the background of scripture. The second step is to meditate. Think about what you're reading and connect it to your life. Imagine being present to hear the passage or to witness the story. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Who is around you? The third step is to take time to pray. Talk with God about this passage. Thank God for God's words and teachings, and ask God to lead you to a deeper understanding. Then take a moment to contemplate. Sit in quietness. Think of you and God together. What is God trying to teach you through this scripture and through this time of prayer? This outline is a good place to start, but I believe you really have to figure out what works best for you. We're going to go through a time of Lectio Divina together. We're going to read through the same scripture a few times. As I read, you will listen, and then I will ask you to think about what word or phrase stuck out to you. With this step, some of you may do better drawing or writing down some key words. So go ahead and grab some paper and something to write with real quick. I'm going to ask that you not draw the first time that we read, but that you listen. Find a place that you're comfortable. Move away from any distractions, and you're welcome to close your eyes if that will help you to focus. The scripture we are going to read today is Mark 4:35 through 41. Jesus stills a storm. On that day, when evening had come, he said to them, "Let us go across to the other side." And leaving the crowd behind, they took him with them in the boat, as he was. Other boats were with him. A great windstorm arose, and the waves beat into the boat, so the boat was already being swamped. But he was in the stern, asleep on a cushion, and they woke him up and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." Then the wind ceased, and there was a dead calm. He said to them, "Why are you afraid? Have you still no faith?" And they were filled with a great awe and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Now I want you to ask yourself, what are the words or phrases that really stuck out to you in this scripture? While I'm reading this time, I want you to think about the storms in your life. What does God say to you this time about your own storms, and how does that feel? Mark 4:35 through 41. The wind ran out of breath. Late that day he said to them, "Let's go across to the other side." They took him in the boat as he was. Other boats came along. A huge storm came up. Waves poured into the boat, threatening to sink it, and Jesus was in the stern, head on a pillow, sleeping. They roused him, saying, "Teacher, is it nothing to you that we're going down?" Awake now, he told the wind to pipe down and said to the sea, "Quiet, settle down." The wind ran out of breath. The sea became smooth as glass. Jesus reprimanded the disciples. "Why are you such cowards? Don't you have any faith at all?" They were in absolute awe, staggered. "Who is this anyway?" they asked. "Wind and sea at his beck and call?" Ask yourself, what did God say to you about your storms? We're going to read the scripture one more time. This time, I'd like for you to listen for the peace that God brings into the storms of life. Mark 4:35 through 41. Jesus calms the storm. As evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they took Jesus in the boat and started out, leaving the crowds behind, although other boats followed. But soon a fierce storm came up. High waves were breaking into the boat, and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping at the back of the boat, with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up, shouting, "Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown?" When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind and said to the waves, "Silence, be still." Suddenly the wind stopped, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith?" The disciples were absolutely terrified. "Who is this man?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and the waves obey him." Now, as we close this time of Lectio Divina, sit in God's loving presence, pray with God, and contemplate what God is trying to teach you